July 1, 1916. 7:30 a.m. A whistle blew. 60,000 men climbed out and walked. Break time, 600 men's. By nightfall, 470 British soldiers were dead or wounded. The kill chain. We dissect one flaw that made this inevitable. We use the same sources Haig and Rawlinson had. Entire towns lost their men. Cause, 87 days prior, Rawlinson's bite and hold plan was cautious. It was correct. Take the first trench only. Let artillery do the rest. Haig rejected it. He wanted both trench lines captured. That ambition spread artillery across a far wider front. 1.5 million shells. 7 days. 3 simultaneous tasks. Cut wire. Destroy dugouts. Suppress artillery. No gun managed all. 30% of those shells were defective. Never detonated. The 1915 shell scandal forced mass production. Quality collapsed. The German deep concrete dugouts were impervious to bombardment. While shells fell above, German soldiers played cards underground. British aerial reconnaissance photographs had already shown intact wire. The war diaries reveal officers knew and filed reports. Reports were received. The operation was not changed. That haunts. The evidence leads to an uncomfortable editorial conclusion. Haig's confidence. The artillery had solved the problem, killed. What strikes us most is its systemic character. Every subordinate signed off. Every intelligence report was accepted. You were Rawlinson. June 30, 1916. Consider what you know. Reports suggest the wire is not cut in the north. You can delay. You can change the plan. Or proceed. Rawlinson proceeded. Delay's political cost was too high. France had been absorbing German attacks at Verdun since February. The Somme was always July 1. The method was uncertain. The third floor arrived 10 minutes before 0 hour. The Hawthorn ridge mine contained 4,600 pounds of explosives. British planners wanted 0 hour detonation. Hunter Weston disagreed. Hunter Weston ordered detonation at 7:20, 10 minutes early. His reasoning is absent from every surviving operational record. Sources disagree on this point. That absence is telling. At 7:20, the Hawthorn ridge mine detonated. Malins filmed it. Malins filmed from what he called an absolute death trap. His diary. Shells seemed to envelop me on all sides. German Reserve Infantry Regiment 119 felt the ground convulse. Every German defender understood the attack was coming now. They had 10 minutes to man their positions. Enough. 18 other mines detonated at 7:28. Correctly timed, but late. German defenders were already in position. Already aiming. Already calm. 7:30 a.m. The whistles blew. What followed exceeded every projection. British infantry walked at steady pace. Equipment, £70 each. 7:20 a.m. July 1. Hawthorn ridge mine detonated. Wrong time. Hunter Weston ordered the early detonation. The reason still disputed. Reserve Infantry Regiment 119 felt the ground shake. They knew. From dugouts, soldiers grabbed rifles, climbed up, manned positions. 10 minutes later, British troops advanced into a prepared defense. One timing error. Thousands dead. The record is unambiguous. Now consider northern and southern sectors. The contrast is instructive. In the south, 13th Corps took most Day 1 objectives. The French 6th Army achieved all their southern objectives. This reframes the disaster entirely. The South succeeded that day. The French used shorter preparation intervals and closer artillery coordination. The disaster was not inevitable. It was the Northern plan. This is our first editorial judgment. The catastrophe was avoidable. At this point in our analysis, we want your view. Could the Northern plan have worked with Southern tactics? Tell us in the comments. The debate remains genuinely open. Pryor and Wilson's 2005 analysis traced the disaster precisely. Sheffield's 2003 reassessment takes a different view of Haig. Sheffield argues Haig was learning in an unprecedented operational environment. Pryor and Wilson call the Northern artillery allocation catastrophically inadequate. Both use the same sources. That disagreement is itself instructive. Which historian is correct? The record itself is incomplete. Some 4th Army headquarters operational records were never filed. What we do know changes the picture. 0 hour arrived. Artillery preparation was over. The infantry was now alone. What did German commanders see on July 1's morning? General Fritz von Bellow's 1st Army anticipated attack for days. The 7-day bombardment was its own warning. Germans had prepared. The German Army's official after-action report was released decades later. It describes German defenders watching British infantry advance in lines. The report notes disbelief. The British were walking into guns. LT Alfred Bundy went over, survived. His account is primary. Bundy wrote, deafening din, choking fumes, appalling machine gun fire. The wire that should have been cut was not cut. German machine gunners had clear fields of fire into gaps. German wire gaps were designed specifically for this exact scenario. British planners had this reconnaissance. They did not incorporate it. Our second judgment, the intelligence integration system, failed completely. The information existed. It never reached those who needed it. By 8-0, in northern sectors, the battle was already decided. At Serre, the 30 Honest Division was pinned in wire immediately. At T-Val, the 36 Ulster Division advanced despite terrifying casualties. The 36 captured sections of the German second line briefly. With flanks unprotected, the position was immediately untenable. By 8:30, the 36 fell back. The game was lost. 9:15 a.m., July 1, 1916. Newfoundland Regiment received their order. 800 men, Beaumont-Hamel. The front line had not advanced. They advanced through standing wire into an intact German line. MG8 machine guns at Balcourt fired from 3 directions. In 30 minutes, 710 men were killed or wounded. Only 68 answered roll call next morning. The wire stood. Beaumont-Hamel village was not captured on July 1, 1916. Beaumont-Hamel fell November 13, 1916. 136 days. Every thread of the July 1 disaster converged here. Wire, dugouts, the mine, 3 failures with 1 root cause. The root cause, Haig's objective. Too ambitious, it diluted everything. By 10:00 a.m., Rawlinson's headquarters was receiving fragmented, contradictory reports. Some reports claimed success. Others reported catastrophic failure. The PALS battalions were concentrated in the northern disaster sectors. The Accrington PALS, 11th East Lancashire, lost 584 of 720. Sheffield City Battalion lost 495 men in one day. A town's men gone, erased in a single morning. The PALS battalion system was abolished by late 1916. That institutional response came too late for July 1, 1916. The battle continued. Something unplanned changed the war's future course. September 15, 1916. Flèche-sur-Lat. 49 Mark I tanks appeared. Haig deployed tanks before they were ready, against expert advice. Only 18 of 49 tanks reached action. Mechanical failures plagued. Those 18 tanks captured Flaws, Martinpuich, and Courcelette in hours. A tank is walking down the main street of Flares. The July 1 breakthrough arrived accidentally in September instead. The creeping barrage was also perfected during the battle's attrition. A rolling artillery curtain ahead of infantry. July 1 lacked. By November 1916, British doctrine transformed. 2 weapons, 2 lessons. The battle ended November 13, 1916, 141 days. Total Allied casualties, approximately 623, 0. German casualties, approximately 500, 0. Maximum territorial gain across the entire battle, 12 kilometers. The Somme achieved one strategic objective. It relieved Verdun. France's army was saved from collapse. At Britain's catastrophic cost, Germany lost its best junior NCOs and officers at Somme. That depletion accelerated through 1,917 and became critical by 1,918. Sheffield argues this German erosion vindicates the Somme's strategic logic. Pryor and Wilson, same results achievable at far less cost. The Somme debate has no clean verdict, different judgments. The doctrine lesson is unambiguous. The Somme's clearest legacy. The creeping barrage became standard British doctrine. It works. Tanks were redesigned and better deployed. Cambrai 1917 proved it. The 1800 days offensive built on Somme's hard lessons. This is the doctrine moment. Disasters write manuals, victories cannot. Our third judgment, Haig learned, too slowly, at enormous cost. That is our assessment. The Somme's long shadow confirms it. The T4 memorial records 195 names, all without known graves. 72,195 men. No known grave. The walking pace order commander believed artillery had solved everything. That assumption is the flaw. One system cannot solve complexity. The Somme's flaw was not shells. It was insufficient humility. Unverified command assumption against ground truth. That gap killed 57,470. The 110th anniversary of July 1, 2026 falls this year. The Royal British Legion ceremony at Thiepval draws thousands annually. Battlefield archaeologists continue finding physical evidence on the Somme. The Somme's primary lesson is verification. Check the wire yourself. The tactical failure directly produced combined arms doctrine that won 1,919. 57,470 casualties in one day. Britain's most instructive military failure. Was July 1 avoidable? Share your assessment in the comments. Full breakdown pinned in the comments.